Hi, my name is Connor McCray. Today, I will be reviewing Joseph Turo's book, The Voice Catchers: How Marketers Listen In to Exploit Our Feelings, Your Privacy, and Your Wallet. This book looks at how companies like Google and Amazon are leading an emerging industry of discriminatory voice profiling that serves their interests and has wide-ranging negative implications for individuals and society as a whole. I will be talking about 3 things in the book that surprise me, how I feel about this technology and how businesses use it, and how the trends discussed in the book will impact my company, Walmart. One of the things that surprised me about this book is how call centers are a lot more open about how they operate with the voice data they collect than the big tech companies like Amazon and Google. I think that this is mainly because these call centers do not face nearly the same scrutiny as a lot of these bigger tech companies when it comes to this topic, so they don't feel like they need to conceal this information and their operating practices as much. One of the more unique and creepy ways that they have been analyzing voice data is by having AI extract voice data and having it draw conclusions about a person's emotion and personality exclusively for marketing purposes. On page 87, it states how the AI can analyze data about a customer and can make recommendations about whether or not to upsell to that person and how to personalize the recommendation. Voice AI for these call centers and in general have gotten to the point that they can identify a person's key characteristics like race, gender, and more just based off their voice, which shocks me in terms of how much detail they can get considering they're only getting someone's voice. Another thing that surprised me about this book is the press coverage that voice-based devices like Amazon's Alexa and Google's Home have received. Most of the press coverage for these devices has focused on the ease of use for the consumer and how they will make life better for people overall. When devices like Amazon's Alexa and Apple Series were first launched, almost all of the press coverage was on how cool these devices are and how they'll make our lives so much better compared to before with their ease of use and their convenience. Even when a news article brings up some of the negative effects of these products and letting them access our voice and all the information that they can get out of them, the general conclusion that these articles reach is that these devices are here for good and we're already using them, so it is a sacrifice we will have to make in order to get the convenience and ease of use these products offer. To me, this is best showcased on page 152 during the CNBC news segment on Amazon building more smart technology into homes. In the interview, one anchor brings up how there might be some potential privacy concerns over having all this smart technology in a house listening into people's conversation. And the reporter in the house counters with how people won't care about the privacy concerns if their pantries are getting filled. The laissez-faire attitude of the press when it comes to privacy concerns is really worrying to me in how they seem completely willing to brush aside the real privacy concerns when it comes to these products. The last thing that really surprised me about this book is that some companies get really picky about which system in terms of voice-based software their businesses use. For example, on page 220, after the Mars agency had success with using Alexa in their whiskey store, they moved towards working with Estee Lauder, which is a makeup brand. However, Estee Lauder refused to use Alexa like had been used previously in the whiskey store and wanted instead to use Google Home instead. The reason why was because they feared that Alexa would collect their customers' voice interactions and use that information to help their own cosmetics business. To me, this shows that businesses are aware of the fact that Amazon, Google, Apple, and more of these companies are doing more with the data that they collect from people's voices that they are letting on, and they have real concern about how it may be used against them from a competitive business standpoint. For me personally, I have mixed feelings on this technology and how companies use it. On one hand, I can see how the convenience of these products and their ease of use is appealing to people. It can really simplify people's work that they do in the house and provide them with entertainment, like asking Siri stupid questions or getting information on the latest sports game that you're watching. I can also see how these technologies can help businesses operate better. For example, during COVID, I remember reading about how hospitals were using Alexa and Echo to help their staff communicate with patients in isolations, which was a needed necessity given the pandemic. This shows to me that these incredible possibilities that these products can offer and why the press raves about them so much. It really is a lot of ease of use and a lot of cool things you can do with these products, and it's easy to get wrapped up in that. The only suggestion I would have to make their products better is just improved ability to understand people, because there are some times where I have to repeat myself 3 times before they can understand me, and sometimes they just can't understand me at all when I talk. On the other hand, I'm concerned over the privacy issues with these products and what they are doing with the data that they are collecting. I don't want my voice to be tracked 24/7 when using these products, even when I specifically told them to stop. And it seems that they acknowledge it but still continue to get the data. I also don't want that data being collected and being sold to third parties like advertisers, political campaigns, and more. I feel like the way they should fix this is by only having these devices access your voice when the customer wants it to, and clearly stating what they are doing with the data that they are collecting. If companies like Amazon, Google, Apple, Microsoft, and more were more transparent about what they are doing with the information they collect, people would be worried less because they would have an insight into what's actually happening. These companies being secretive and tight-lipped is causing consumers to have their fears surrounding these products made worse and exasperated. The trends discussed in the book will impact Walmart in a lot of ways. I don't think that they will be using any Alexa products in their stores to collect voice data, because if Estee Lauder, simply a cosmetics company, is concerned about Amazon using that information for their own gain, I can't imagine Walmart being okay giving one of their biggest competitors a leg up in potential information in terms of what their consumers are into and what they like. The ways that I see Walmart bringing voice technology into their stores is in 2 possible ways. The first way would be by using a product like Google Home in their stores. The main benefits would be they wouldn't have to have any research and development in terms of how to create this product, and the installation cost would be much lower because you're taking an established product into your own business. The main drawback of this is that you would potentially not control all of the data you collect and where it's coming from and flowing to. Google, or whatever company they decide to use for this example, could decide to use the data to their own benefit and sell it to others potentially as well, potentially weakening Walmart's stance if it's sold to a competitor like Target, Amazon, or more. The other option they could go with is creating their own product or version of voice collecting. The main drawbacks of this plan would be that it is more costly to implement, with research and development and installation being much higher in terms of cost rather than if they outsourced it to an already existing company or product. However, the main benefits of this plan would be that Walmart would be in control of the data they collect. Imagine a customer using a Walmart shopping cart with voice integration that can tell a customer where to find items or their price. And then that data that is collected using the cart gives the customer future recommendations in the future in order to keep them coming back to Walmart because they know that they will always recommend what they need and what they want. It would lead to more positive results for Walmart. If I were them, I would probably start with the first plan and then integrate the second plan in as time goes on in order to get the best out of both worlds. In conclusion, this book had a lot of things that surprised me, made me think about my feelings towards voice technology, and made me evaluate how Walmart will use these trends in the future. I would heavily recommend this book to someone. It goes over not only the past and present of voice technology, but where we are headed as well. Turo also goes over how we can fix a lot of the problems associated with voice technology before it is too late and the problems get out of hand. This book is definitely one that sticks with you for a while. That wraps up my review, and thanks for listening to it.